Alright, so for YCS Indy 2023, I chose to play Superheavy Samurai. It's a bit of a weird deck now that the Link 1 is banned, but since they unbanned Danglong, the deck certainly still has plays. So first, I'll go through the general deck profile, go over some of my thoughts of cards to potentially add to it or remove, and just general theory, and then I can show the combo, the general standard combo that you would go into, the one card with Wakaushi. Yeah, I did not do the best with the deck during the tournament, but I don't think that is a problem with the deck, more so a problem with me. I am not the most experienced duelist, and I made plenty of mistakes during the day, but a more experienced and just overall better duelist likely would have done well, because I think this deck is pretty darn good. So first, let's go into the main machine package. You, of course, play triple Wakaushi, triple Motorbike, triple Wagon. I play triple Soul Piercer, although there perhaps is an argument that you don't really need it since you can no longer link it off with just a Link 1. I play 2 Soul Peacemaker because of that. Only the 1 Big Benkei because I don't really want to draw it, so why play 2? 1 Scales for recovery. 1 Booster, there's an argument to play 2 or 3. I just chose to play 1 due to space considerations, but I think there definitely is a valid argument to cut a Peacemaker and add an extra booster. I also played 1 Soul Horns, which is a main part of the combo, and then our honorary Superheavy played 2 Regulus. Now, let us move on to the going second and hand trap portion of the deck. So, for going second cards, I played 3 Fenrir. And with the scales, 1 and 8, you can actually pen summon this out. So it's pretty convenient being able to summon and search it, because you can just link it off and then pendulum summon the additional copy that you get. I played triple Nibiru. This card came up very clutch, very good against certain decks that just don't really have an answer for it. Triple Ash, just the best generic card, crazy against Emergency and Rescue Ace. Triple Droll, good against a lot of combo decks plus Fluanderies. And double Veiler, which is largely a concession to the Fluanderies matchup. I do not have an excellent matchup versus that deck, as proven by the fact that I got 2-0 swept by it in round 3, I believe. I also play a singular Pankratops, because going second, you can summon it, and then going first, you can still pendulum summon it out as it's level 7. Next, let's move on to some of the quote-unquote bricks of the deck, where you don't really want to draw them, because throughout your combo, you will be able to search and summon them. So, we have Zefraxi and Zephyrniu. Never forget your Zephyrniu effect. I found that out the hard way. Next, we have Performpal Odd-Eye Synchron. It has a very fun effect. The scale does not matter. Monster effect, once per turn, you can use it and a scale you control as synchro material. And that means you can use him and your Big Benkei to go into synchro level 10s. Of course, you're going into Barone, but there's also an additional level 10 that I can show you in the combo, and since it's not a hard once per turn, you can make both on your first turn, or if you're pushing for lethal. Next, I only played 1 spell and 1 trap. I played 1 Therion Disc Coliseum. There is an argument to be made for just cutting this and putting in 3 Regulus. It plays around Droll better. It doesn't lose to the random hand rip from Chimera. It doesn't lose to the Mills from Tearlament. But you know what? I just like to play risky, and it's a good card at providing some battle protection, and people forget about it. And next, of course, Zephyr Divine Strike. Probably the MVP of the deck. This card's crazy. You can side it out going second, but going first, it's a very critical piece. It helps stop Dark Ruler, which I found out the hard way when I let this card get negated at one point. So, moving on to the extra deck. I will start with the links first. We have Almirage. One thing you can end up doing is you can equip a Soul Piercer to one of your low attack super heavies, link it off for Almirage and get to search that way. Doesn't feel great, but it's what we have. Also, you can use it to go into a card that I'll show later. Next, we have Proxy F Magician, probably the worst card in the deck. Basically, it is a decent enough link monster with 2 downward arrows, and it's fire type, so it helps with access code Talker. That's really about it. I do not have an actual fusion target for this card. However, the threat of that allowed me to get a Nibiru off for my opponent. I am sorry, there is a hot tub running in the background, so let me pause and wait for that to end. Alright, sorry about that. So next we have IP Masquerena, which is perfect for going into the new card SP Little Knight. Yeah, this card's crazy. Not much else to say about that. Then we have Beyond the Pendulum, which you use to search the Synchron card. Then we have Exceed the Pendulum, which is what allows you to use the Synchron card twice. We have Appaloosa for the end board, access code to go for game. Now let's move to the Synchros. We have Denglong, the main combo starter of the deck, and then the 2 level 10s, Barone and Chenying. There are some other level 10s you could go into. Ruddy Rose Dragon is a potential one, but I figured Chenying was just pretty damn strong. Then we move to the Xyz, Gear Gigant X, just to help search in kind of weird bricky hands. Then I have the Springens Sargus package to search for Therion Disc Coliseum or just a Regulus. And it also helps to make Zeus. Alright, so now let's move into the side. In the side, I was playing triple Phantasme, mainly for Unchained, but it can come up against Rescue Ace as well. I was also playing triple Druiswarm, Unchained, and Tyr. And then as a concession to the amount of Tyr I expected to be in the room, I was also playing Bestial Magnamut, Bestial Baldrake, Medora the Sword Oracle, and since extra deck space is so tight, I was also siding Abyss Dweller. Then, as a concession to Pearly, I was siding Underworld Goddess. Next, since I only had 1 copy of it, I was playing the 1 Artifact Lancia. If I had 3, I would probably find room to play 3. Very good against Flu and Rescue Ace. Next, this card I just had, because I didn't have anything else to put here, and it's very funny. I have Prohibition. So basically going first, you play this, you call Troll and Lockbird, and if they have it in their hand, that's very funny. Realistically, you can call other things, which is probably a better use for it, but I didn't. Next, we have the time cards, which realistically should just be Gaga Cowboy, since you can make rank 4s fairly easily. But I chose something very funnier. I went for Performapal Trump Girl, which lets you fusion summon, since you can search it with Beyond the Pendulum. Then you want to do a full pen summon, and as long as you have a level 5 or higher dark monster, which can include any of the Phantasme or Bestial package, you can then go into Performapal Gatling Ghoul, which will then do damage equal to them to the amount of cards you have on the field. So at the point that this effect resolves, you should have 7 cards, which should be 1400 damage, and since you took 1200 from Beyond the Pendulum, that is more, so you will be ahead by 200 life points. Also, if you're going second and you do this, you can destroy a monster with this effect and inflict damage to them based on its attack, I believe. Yes, the original attack. So in terms of changes I would make, like I said before, I would put in 2 more Artifact Lancia. I did not have these in time for the event, but very good card. Potentially also put in another Keldo as another concession to Tier Element. I think game 1, this deck is not favored, but since it has so much space for non-engine, once you side in all these Bestials, the Keldo, the Medora, the Abyss Dweller, I think you have a pretty favored matchup. Also, the third Regulus, after playing a bit, especially versus tier, you just really don't want the spell Engrave if it gets hit. It also hurts you against Droll, because if you want to have protection and the only card you have in your hand is the Disc Coliseum, then you just instantly play into the Droll. So that's that. One other one, which is a funny story, I was going to play Triple Epsilon, which is the one that stops traps. So I wanted to use this versus Dimensional Barrier and Anti-Spell Fragrance. The problem, I had these. I could not find a damn driver. So I ordered one. It was about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours late to getting to me. Not any fault of the company. They did a good job shipping it. I was just dumb and did not realize I had one. So that's that. I did not have an answer for Spell Fragrance at all, really. Besides praying they don't have it. You could also play more Bestials if you really want to be good in a tier matchup. I just did not have space for it. Ghost Mourner is an interesting card because it's level 3, so you can pen summon it out, unlike Droll or Effect Veiler. But generally, I don't really like pen summoning the hand traps. It doesn't come up very much. And if you do pen summon a hand trap, it's normally just one of the Bestials because they have big attack. And also, it doesn't stop Fluanderies, which is like the main reason I want a card like Effect Veiler. So, yeah. And then finally, instead of Proxy Magician, I was considering Lina. The problem was it's light, so with access code, it doesn't add an additional thing. It can only search either Veiler or Nibiru, and by that point, they're destroying it, so they should have already comboed off, so it doesn't really do that much. Yeah, it like in theory it seems good, but Proxy Magician just had more upside, weirdly enough. So that is it for all of that. Next, I'm going to show the standard 1-card combo that I was performing. So of course, all that combo takes is 1 Wakaushi. So you activate Wakaushi. In the scale, use its effect to special summon. Then you will scale the big Benkei. Use the Benkei's effect to then search a Soul Horn. The Soul Horn you will equip to Wakaushi. Use its effect to special summon. You will then synchro into our wonderful boy, the Denglong. You can then chain block the Denglong by using Wakaushi as Chainlink 2, Denglong 1, Wakaushi rescales. Denglong, since we are not normal summoning anything before getting to Wakaushi, in this case, we will go for Zefraxi. So we will add Zefraxi to our hand, then we will normal summon the Zefraxi. Then, from this position, I like to go link these two off, and then we will be going into the Proxy F Magician, and then summoning from the deck, we will be summoning the Zephraniu. Then we will link these two off into Beyond the Pendulum. Then beyond the Pendulum effect, we will add Perform Pal Odd Eye Synchron to the hand. Next, we will perform a Pendulum Summon. So we will summon back the 2 Zephyr cards and summon the Synchron. Then, the effect of Zephraniu will add Zephyr Divine Strike. Then, we are able to use the Odd Eye Synchron with the Big Benkei to Synchro Summon into Barone. And then Benkei effect will rescale, and he will summon back. Then, you can use one of your pendulums and Beyond the Pendulum to go into the lovely lady Exceed the Pendulum. Her effect on Link Summon will allow you to add back Formapal Odd Eye Synchron. With that, You'll add it to your hand, use the Exceed to Pendulum effect to resummon it to the field, not a hard once per turn. Use it again with the Big Benkei. Big Benkei does not rescale, that would be nice. Once per turn, fair enough. Then you can go into your Changing. Then you can use these two to go into a 2-material Appaloosa. So your end board is an Omni Negate from Barone, an Omni Negate from Divine Strike, 2 Monster Negates from Appaloosa, and a Banish with Changing. And if you're wondering where the Banish comes from, Zephyra Divine Strike banishes the Zephyra in your extra deck. So you use that, you negate a card, and then you can trigger Changing to banish a card both from their field and graveyard. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed the profile. Also, I got lots of comments during the tournament about the Capybara playmat. So I will leave a link to the site where I was able to just put in a photo, get a custom playmat, select with zones, and yeah, that's about it. Any questions, leave in the comments. I'll feel free to answer. And Maximus Prime, signing off.